Well, hello, hi. It is me, it is I. Small town Didi or Khadi on these your very internet and akastracha and bakalau yala. I'm less for green tea and my kettle just went off. But I'll let that seep in a bit because something is bothering me. Initially, I was supposed to sit down and chat to you all about something else, but it's like me to want to talk about. I hope this is not a breakout is still happening, you guys. Do you know what's been bugging me? And it's bugging me because I can't place my discomfort. This is where you walk in. You're going to help me help me figure out what's going on with me. I'm having a difficult time with. Okay, there we go. I'm having a difficult time with, the direction of what is essentially what I would call South African podcasting, right? Which is, maybe it's my space and I'm willing to own that because that clicking sound that's happening is my oven. If it's bothering somebody, it's my oven. The style of podcasting that does numbers, even like the clips go viral in my little corners of the internet, is the people telling their life stories, mostly in romantic relationships and mostly in marriages. Those kinds of things seem to be doing well. Even that kind of reality show where there's I'm not saying but the Jola 99 and the Pap Khalti kind of, they are sort of in a similar vein, not quite the same thing. Now, with the podcasting thing, what's been bugging me is a lot of the women who've been able to sort of propel their little itty bitty, what is the space called? TikTok platforms into, really viable careers and found themselves being able to podcast and all of that. They built these audiences by, the parasocial connections that they develop from places of trauma, right? You know who I'm talking about, and I'm not going to name names because I don't disagree with a lot of the stuff that some of these women have to say, right? I'll tell you, stick with me and I'll tell you where it's bothering me. And then a lot of it is my man did this and why are you guys staying with this man, blah, blah, blah. Rahadi has those kinds of chats with you guys all the time. So it's not to say anything really. And then they start the podcast, right? And then they have the YouTube channel as well. And then they invite people on and the women come on these shows. In my mind, it's the parasocial thing, right? They feel like you're a safe space because they were like a virtual safe space for you, right? We feel we know the people we're watching like this, right? I sometimes find myself thinking, no, she wouldn't do that. They don't know her. That's not who. But I don't know this person either, right? I know that we have a shared trauma and I've made this entire person their trauma, wherein they are obviously a victim. And so that's the lens that I see them, meaning they can't do wrong, right? That's just, come on, stay with me, guys. Okay, it's gonna take a bit because it's really bugging me, yeah? So I feel like these women then go on these platforms to tell their stories of, I was in this marriage and this happened, and the stories are important. I'm not very highbrowy and lowbrowy about that's what I'm saying. It's in the same vein as the Pap Khalti shit, but the Pap Khalt shit is lowbrow, and I still watch some of that shit. I still have my days where I'm like, yo, not it. He's running. You can't outrun that. Everybody knows you can't outrun that, man. You understand? I have my days. I have my vices. Okay, we all gotta cope now. It's important. The stories are important so that the work of decentering men and decentering marriage and stuff starts to happen, and we can appreciate that it happens at different levels, right? These women need to come and tell their story so that women stop idolizing this thing, so that we realize that there's more to it, this, that, and the other. It's important, and I want the women to have spaces to say what they need to say. Where am I bugged? I'm bugged when the women come on and tell their piece, and then there's some of you foolish lot in the comments, some of them men, some of them women, right? But quite a lot of them men. So not even that person's core audience who's in the comments saying, yeah, invite the man on to tell his side. And then you do it. Under the guise of journalistic integrity. Bitch, when did you become a journalist? You see where they lose me? Do you see where they lose me? Are you not betraying the confidence? Because most of these women are coming onto these platforms to sit across from you, to tell their story because they feel it's a safe space, right? If you don't have the resources or the skill or whatever to vet what this woman is saying, you are already not a journalist. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the journalistic integrity, and there's two sides to every, that cannot be your portion. You must then, you are, that's the whole point of this kind of media, of this kind of, you can like, without shame, say, I've got an agenda, and stop hiding behind all of this. I'm trying to be balanced. I'm trying to be, for fucking what? For what? And because that's not what built your platform. That is not, you weren't saying your little piece on your platform talking about my ex-husband did this to me, my ex-husband, but like, let's call him and hear his side. Let's have his little rebuttal to what my story, my telling of events that I'm saying to you guys, this man put me through this. We took your word for it. We supported you. You've now grown a platform, right? And then now that it's time for me to tell my story using this platform that we've all grown together, yes, you put in the work, right? But it happens because the women showed up for you. It's your village coming. And I feel like if these women are not paying attention who are running these platforms, you're eroding the trust of these women, as if you don't know that men lie, right? Women lie, but that's not what the fuck we're talking about. See, me, I'll be straight with you. You guys know I'm on some agenda shit always. Like, I don't even need to talk about, I'm not sitting here trying to build a platform only to say, but the men too. What the fuck about the men? Why the men? The builders. Why are they not fucking building their own fucking shit? How are you building your thing on here and inviting people you know in this here femicide saga, in this here one? Inviting people you know live. You've been sitting, you've experienced certain similar things, and they come on and they're just like, oh, everything she said is just, it's not true, and I'm just here to tell my side. You're being irresponsible with your audience. That's just my view. That is my lens. I feel like it's a betrayal of that audience, and it happened gradually. You don't need, they can go on to another podcast. They can go on to McG. They can go on to another dude can start up a thing where the gents can come tell their side. That does not need to be your part. Don't do that. You're betraying your audience. That every time I watch it, I'm like, I understand, like, Promise and Oami in particular had their beefs. Like, it was like, yes, I'm going to bring on her husband because they had their squabble, right? Even then, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? What's the agenda? And perhaps it's because they know South Africans have a short-term memory. So they'll pivot, they will clean it up, they will do, as long as it's trendy and as long as they have a salacious thing to talk about, perhaps they don't need to then be so responsible with their audience. But I can't imagine I sit here every day and this is my talk about this and about that, and then one day I just get like talking some stuff. You don't need to platform things that don't align with the goals, unless there is no vision and goals for the brand that you're building. It cannot be women empowerment when you bring women on and then the next week you have the husband coming to tell his side. He needs to tell it elsewhere. It cannot be on your platform that he tells it, because I won't trust you. I I feel like I'm now repeating myself, but are you guys with me? Do you understand where I'm coming from? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. You're not a journalist. Don't say you are, because then we'll have to like go back to the beginning and say, you see, from at this point, you were already not doing like journalistic due diligence, if you would like. You and Didi aren't that. You're bitches that pop off at the mouth on the internet. That's it. That is it. Do you understand? So stop with this. He must come tell his side because she was lying. The moment you realize you have no resources to vet any of their sides of the story is when you must realize you have no like journalism in you. So pick a side. There goes my oven. So okay, so my oven went off, but I said all of that to say, is it just me, or it sits uneasy? That's just what I want to hear from you guys, because honestly it bugs me. It does bug me. It feels very short-sighted. It feels like you're chasing a buck under the guise of fairness when that is not your part. That is not your portion, okay? But that's all I wanted to say. I really want to know how you guys feel about what I'm saying. I really do, because it's like icky. It's weird. It's like, oh, you really don't give a shit about your audience. Anyway, bye, Ella. I hope I haven't had something stuck in my teeth all this while.